Hello, good day, guys. This is Dr. Cool Auto Fix, Rainbows and Sunshine. Welcome to another edition. In today's very video edition here, I'm going to be teaching you guys a whole 11 symptoms of overcharged refrigerant in your car AC system. Why is this very important for you to know? Because as a technician or as a DIY, it is imperative for you to know the right range of refrigerant which you need to have in your car, because if anything goes above that, there's going to be a problem. And that is what I'm going to be teaching you today. So now let's get to it. The first symptoms of overcharged refrigerant is the clutch burning of your compressor. For instance, for cars that uses magnetic clutch, when you see your clutch frying and you keep replacing one clutch to another, it's not a good sign. It doesn't mean that you are being lucky. You are just sitting on a keg of a time bomb, and as soon as it expires, it's going to blow you out of proportion. And it's going to be a huge cost right there. Now, when you experience that kind of problem, you need to check the level of the refrigerant that is present inside. Although I'm not trying to be exhaustive, there are other factors that can make your car AC compressor to burn the clutch. So if you start noticing that the clutch burn every now and then you should go ahead and check the amount of refrigerant which you have inside the system. Now, number two symptoms of overcharged refrigerant in your AC system is a compressor tripping off and on. For most older model vehicles that uses fixed displacement compressors, you're often going to find this within the chart. It's not going to leave the chart where you see the compressor off and on, off and on. There are a lot of factors that can actually cause the compressor to keep tripping off and on. And one of those factors is that you have too much refrigerant, way too much refrigerant inside the system that the system is supposed to take. So that is why the compressor is clicking off and on, clicking off and on. Then the number three signs of too much AC refrigerant inside your AC system is continuous cycling of the clutch. If the clutch keep on cycling off and on, it is more like the same thing of the tripping. But the tripping, there is a difference, all right? When you have a tripping, the system is not going to cold. You're not going to have a cold air coming out of the vent. But when you have a cycling, you will have a cold air, but it's not going to be performing very well because there is too much refrigerant inside the system. So I want you to know that there is a difference between when the compressor is tripping, there is no cold air coming inside the system, so you want to check it. And I'm certain that that system there is having way too much refrigerant than it's supposed to. Then the fourth symptoms of overcharged refrigerant is warm suction side. What is the suction side? The suction side is also the low side, the side of the pipe where you plug your quick connect coupler, the low side where there is air. That is actually the low side. That is also the gas line. When you started having the gas line not sweating and it is warm to touch, and in this case also you want to pay attention also to the high side or the liquid line, because if the liquid line is cold to touch and the suction one is warm to touch, then that's a different thing entirely. But in this case here, I'm talking about when the suction line is just warm to touch, but on the liquid line is very hot. So in that situation there is a chance that that car is having way too much refrigerant than it's supposed to. Then fifth is the suction line is cold to touch, but the system is underperforming. When you go inside the hood of your car and you grab the suction line and it's cold to touch, but however the system is not really performing cold as it's supposed to, I want you to check the level of the refrigerant which you have added inside the system. Most of you guys can actually do a mistake, especially when you don't have the sticker right under the hood to show you exactly how much refrigerant which that system is going to take. So it's going to become a very difficult situation to determine the right refrigerant quantity that's supposed to be inside that very system there. So in that situation, you want to start reducing the amount of refrigerant and you pay attention to how cooling the system is. So that's why I'm saying that the suction side is good to touch, but the system is not really performing well. So aside that, there are other factors that can actually also contribute into this kind of problem which I'm talking about here. So you need to look out for some other factors. Then the other side which you need to look out for when you have a too much refrigerant inside the system is that the low side, the suction pressure or the low side is higher than normal. For most cars, you're going to be finding, depend on the car make and model. For standard compressor, you're going to be finding like 20-25 psi on the low side, and on the high side, you're going to be finding like 200 or 220 psi. On the Toyota version, you're going to be seeing like 40 psi or even 50 psi on the low side, and on the high side, you're going to be seeing like a whole lot of 250 psi or even 240 psi on the high side, depending on the humidity of the environment. So you need to know what car make you have and what is the expected range. But however, when you start getting any reading on the low side, let's say like around 70, and on the high side you're going a whole lot of 400, that is way too much refrigerant inside that very system right there, and you're going to do something about it. Number 7 symptoms of a too much refrigerant inside the system is a compressor premature failure. When you started noticing that your compressor is resting in peace even without getting old, that is not normal. There should be anything but normal is not within the picture there. You gotta investigate properly why that compressor is resting in power or pieces. But one of the critical problem that actually send the compressor into resting in peace is too much refrigerant inside the system, because this compressor is not designed to pump liquid but designed to pump vapor. So when you have too much refrigerant inside the system, you start having a lot of liquid coming back to the compressor instead of vapor or gaseous refrigerant, which the compressor is supposed to compress. And in this case, it will lead to the system contamination as much as low lubrication, as much as broken piston, and that is the compressor saying goodbye, I am done, and that's a huge expenses for you to actually get that car back. The number 8 symptoms of too much refrigerant inside the system is poor system performance. When you start to notice that the system is performing poor after adding the refrigerant, after replacing the compressor, after getting the system serviced, a brand new compressor, brand new expansion valve, possibly a brand new condenser, and the system is underperforming, there is 90% chance that you are either having too much refrigerant inside the system or you are having too low refrigerant inside the system. Either ways, none of them are welcome. You need to know exactly the right quantity which the car needs to take. So if you've added, let's say like 3 cans when the car is supposed to be taking like 2 cans, maybe 300 grams per can, then you are way above the chart by, we're talking about 300. 300 is a whole lot. So you're going to be seeing the pressure readings going haywire, and no, that is not something which you should be watching like a movie. You need to arrest that situation fast. Then the number 9 signs of a too much refrigerant inside the system is compressor overheating. What is compressor overheating? I have treated this very topic comprehensively in my channel, so you need to go and watch compressor overheating to understand what compressor overheating is. But if you don't understand compressor overheating, well, too much refrigerant inside the AC system, overcharged system with refrigerant is going to cause the compressor to overheat, because it's going to starve the compressor of the right cooling return that's supposed to be cooling the compressor, and in that the compressor is going to be constantly running mad and it's not going to stop. I mean, you know, in this situation I'm talking about here is not a system that is equipped with clutch. It's with a clutchless system. The compressor is going to keep running and never going to stop, and the compressor is going to overheat, and the next is going to be resting in pieces. So you want to check if suppose the suction line of your AC system is cold to touch. That is when you know that the compressor is having a relatively amount of cold refrigerant coming back to cool the compressor. Then the number 10, which is going to be the last one, is engine excessive vibration. When you turn on your AC system and you discover that the engine is vigorously vibrating, oh buddy, you got to do something really fast, because that tells that there is something wrong with that very AC system there. There could be too much refrigerant. There could be overcharge. I mean, serious overcharge inside the system that is really not playing well with every other component inside the system. So you got to arrest the situation before the situation arrests you. And be my guest, these are the 10 signs of overcharged refrigerant inside your car AC system. I believe this very video is going to fix a lot of your problem who overcharge your system, your car AC system, without knowing how detrimental it's going to be. So, and all I'm going to be asking you to do to support my channel in this regard is to give this video a thumbs up and share with others. I know a lot of you guys don't like sharing. However, just give this video a thumbs up, and if you have any further question after watching this very video, drop it in the comment section, and I'm gonna be seeing you guys on the next episode, where I'm gonna be teaching you how to test solenoid control valve and some other newer topic which a lot of people have never discussed. We were talking about electronic solenoid control thermostat, how to test it, what is the effect when it fails, when, you know, is a whole lot of problem. And the next one is top way to know if you have a bad fuel pump in your car. So there is a lot of interesting topic that's going to be coming up, and these are fresh update which you need to keep out for to know when to attack the problem and when to smile. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.